Here we have a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. This one comes in the SR5 trim level, two-wheel drive, double cab configuration. Celestial silver is the paint. We get ash cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine, and that's made into an 8-speed automatic transmission. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with our LED fog lights. And even on the SR5 trim level, just a nice look from the front fascia here. It looks absolutely great. And I just think in terms of the design, they did a great job redesigning this Tacoma as opposed to the outgoing model. But down here, these are gonna be 17-inch alloy wheels. And then to the door panel here, one-touch up and down windows on all four doors. Rear window lock there, power door lock controls, power mirror controls. We do get blind spot monitors in the side mirrors. And then plenty of storage here in the door panel. Brightness for the gauge cluster can be adjusted there. Auto high beam toggle, traction control, hood release. You get a manual tilt as well as telescoping steering wheel. But here's the 6-way manual driver's seat, and then we do get the 2-way power lumbar support as well. But I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description, but if you're looking to cfind the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new truck you might be interested in. But sitting behind myself, space is not bad, and I've noticed today with the manual seat, it really pushes you to get into your driving position. So with a power seat, it's easier to leave yourself more space to be more comfortable, but that is how I would drive this truck. So I kind of get a more realistic stance on the space back here. But 12 volts here, seat back pocket on this side. Now I will say headroom back here is pretty decent. I have an inch or two of headroom above me just sitting in this seat. Now you get manual child locks on either side so you can lock, unlock there. And then you also have storage underneath the seat if you ever want to use that. Fuel cap there, takes regular, no problem. It's always so loud out here. But to the back end, LED tail lamps. There's the exhaust, tow hitch, spare tire. And I love when you open this cargo space here, you get the LED lights that come on up top and then the ones on the side, nice and big, nice and bright. And then they go off as soon as you close it. But to the front passenger seat, same manual adjustability you get on the driver's side, which is always good. Lockable glove compartment here, pretty good size, I think. Owner's manuals are included. Little top pocket here, USB-C port so you can run your cord and have it sitting there while you're charging it. And then to the window sticker here, y'all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look at anything. But I think a pretty solid deal here, $38,984. And I think it's crazy the fuel economy is so good on these as well compared to the other trucks with the 4-cylinders. 21 city and 26 highway is pretty good. Now as we come back around to the front end, just a quick look in the engine bay. There's that 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Now before we hop in the driver's seat, just a quick look at the turn signals. So there's the back. And again, I apologize for the wind noise. And there's the front. So I like the steering wheel here. It's not leather, but it feels really good for it to be that vinyl hard plastic. There's the horn. Now over here to the radio, 8-inch screen here. You have the navigation subscription, AM, FM, XM, along with Bluetooth, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Go through your phone here. Just a few kind of notification systems there, and then here you have your general settings, so you can change your language, units of measurement, and all of that there. And I like this system because there's really not a lot going on here. It's very simple. Backup cameras here, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel, and then you can change the view as well as the guidelines there. And then down here, single zone manual climate control, so you can adjust the temperature, fan speed, cut the whole system on or off there, adjust the fan direction, AC toggle, and then your heated mirrors and your defroster there. Hazards are over here on the right. Now behind the shifter, you do get two USB-C ports, so you can plug those in and then have the phone sitting here, which I like. 12 volt there, storage on the side as well. And then for the shifter, just grab this, we'll push this button in, pull either forward or back for reverse, neutral drive, and then you can come over here and get those sport shifts there. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage, automatic brake hold is there. And then you get your tow haul mode, push button, and then you have your electronic controlled transmission, that power there. Your auto stop toggle is right here. Bottle holders here, center console cubby space. There's a look at the back. LED lights for the front. Sunglasses holder there. And vanity mirror there. I love we get the LED light here for the mirror. Blinkers, high beams, you can flash there, and then you have the fog lights you can turn on or off here, and then you have your auto daytime running lights off, and then full on low beams there. Right side of the steering wheel behind, one time off, intermittent low, high. You can adjust that intermittent frequency with this here, and then Bluetooth button, these arrows, and then this toggle is to go through the gauge cluster, so you can go through your options here, and then you can also use these to go forward and back within each sub menu. So pretty neat. Get all your info here, tire pressure monitors, a traction monitor, pitch and roll, all of that. Volume controls, voice recognition, audio sources, and then you can go through your track list or radio station presets. And then for the driving support 3.0, you can change your cruise from adaptive to regular, hitting that button there. And then adjust the gap adjust for the adaptive, and then you can make sure all this is on, and then hit this button to activate the full driving support system, which includes that adaptive cruise control and the lane tracing assistant. And then set your speed and cancel there. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Tacoma SR5 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Tacoma SR5 here, I love the blow-off valve on these. It just sounds so aggressive. It's just really fun to drive this truck. It just feels, it feels tuned almost. When you feel the, or hear the turbo go off, it's wild. But I drove a TRD Sport and it was in this beautiful blue. That really does it for me. But the hood scoop and everything on that was kind of intruding in my space here. The hood on this one's a lot different. It's a lot easier to see out of, but not really something that I would deter from. I wouldn't deter from getting a TRD Sport because of the hood. It doesn't intrude that much. The visibility is just better here because there's less on the hood. But overall, as I've gotten to know this truck, the ride is bouncier. So when you hit bumps, it kind of shakes you over them. But the overall comfort is great. And even with these manual seats, I like how they did these compared to the ones that you get in some of the other pickup trucks where you just get a 4-way if you get a manual seat, because this 6-way really does allow you to get the best seating position possible for a manual seat. But the iForce 2.4 here, it allows you to really get a good feel for a modern V6. And I say that by saying it's not a V6, but a Turbo 4 is the new V6. It is what it is. That's how it goes. So you're seeing those in a lot of trucks now, Silverados. You're seeing them in the Tacoma, the 4Runner. Everywhere where you're used to seeing a higher displacement V6, you're getting that lower displacement Turbo 4. And they're doing a really good job. Now, reliability-wise, that's yet to be seen. And obviously, that's one more part that you'd have to worry about if it were to go bad. But these are relatively reliable so far from what I've seen. Now, you can say what you will about the Tundras with the twin-turbo V6, but the F-150s with the twin-turbo V6s, those can get some miles on them, especially the newer ones as they've kind of adapted. And that's just part of it. If you get the first of a vehicle, normally it's going to have the most problems, if any. Now, we have seen where that hasn't been the case. So some older Ford engines that were diesel do a lot better than some of the newer ones that are diesel, so on and so forth. But especially for a new engine being provided from Toyota, it's not going to be perfect, and that's what warranties are for. But I haven't had any issues with these trucks. But I've also never owned one either, so I don't want to necessarily speak on it. I can just speak from my experience. But the driving feel, and I've said this before, it's different compared to the Rangers, compared to the Colorados, Canyons. This doesn't feel... This is probably, in terms of mid-sized trucks, the roughest driving truck that you can get. But that's one of the reasons that people like them. These feel more rugged. I feel like they could take a bit more in terms of just going off-road, going to work, hauling, and things of that nature. Just something about the overall feel, the overall steering. Now, the Rangers and the Colorados, Frontiers, they feel a bit better from a everyday driver's perspective, but I feel like you get the best of both with this. But it's a simple truck to drive. There's really nothing to it. It feels like a 4Runner, if anything, just in terms of the boxier feel. The older 4Runners. I haven't driven the new ones yet because you can't find those still in my area. But here we go. So I meant to put it in the power mode, so I apologize for that, but it still got up. That was pretty nice. And I like just the normal drive mode because it does give you a less thrashing feel, if that makes sense. I feel like it's not as harsh. So it still gets up, it just doesn't feel as rough. Now, I do want to give one more thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But I think a good truck for the money. I like the kind of middle trim, just overall package you get here. We get a nice looking radio. We don't have automatic climate controls, but still the knobs look good. We get the Safety Sense 3.0, which is probably the best thing about this. And we're still under 40 grand sticker price. And it's just an overall good truck, I think. You have to remember too, this gets 26 miles per gallon. So that'll be something else that helps as opposed to the V6. It's getting that better fuel economy, but something that also drives, it at least feels as quick as that V6 to me. Now, it doesn't get as loud, you're not redlining it the same way, but it still has that power. And I think if you're in the market for something like this, Ranger, Colorado, Canyon, even Frontier, it's worth a look, especially if having the driving support system with lane centering, adaptive cruise is a must for you. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5.